So this is the Golf R Generations Showcase. So what we have here is every generation of the R version, starting with the Mk4, 2004, the Mk5, 2008, 2012 and 13, Mk6 Golf R, and then the Mk7s, they just went every single year, Mk7, 7 and the 7.5, and ending with the Mk8. It's just a fantastic way for us to bring together a bunch of enthusiasts to kind of showcase their cars and showcase the progression that Volkswagen has had with the R model. My name is Justin Welty, the owner of UroTuning, and this is our 2022 Volkswagen Golf R.
My name is Winn, got a 2019 Golf R.
My name is Zachary Kloss, drive a 2017 Volkswagen Golf R.
My name is Kollin, I drive a red Mk6 Golf R.
Hi, my name's Alen. I drive a Mk5 R32.
Al, and the blue Mk4 R32 is mine.
I had a 2016 GTI. It was stick, stage 2 everything, and with the clutch being stage 2, got a little rough driving in traffic every now and then. I was looking for a DSG, and the next logical step was to jump into the R, and I tracked down an R and bought it.
I needed something with all-wheel drive, and I didn't want to go back to a GTI. So it was time to make the step into the all-wheel drive world.
I bought this car just sort of, you know, everybody always wants the next best thing for what they have. I used to have a Mk6 with a 2.5 liter 5-cylinder in it. That car was a lot of fun, but it was super slow. This car came up for sale, and it just happened to work out. The guy wanted to get out of his loan, but wanted to keep his Mk6, so I traded my car with cash on top for this one.
I bought my Mk5 R32 because I had a Mk5 GTI, and ever since, obviously, you always kind of look up to like the greatest thing for what you have. And you know, I had my GTI with like R32 bumpers, grills, and stuff like that. So I was always a fan. And then a situation came up that I could get one, so I found it perfect to go ahead and do that.
Basically, I've wanted this car since they came out, and really just couldn't afford one until now. So I've been watching the Vortex and the different classifieds for a long time, and finally got to the point where my checkbook and the price of the R is matched up, so I bought one.
So we bought the car in February, first week of February. Initially, we had wanted to have the car ready for Fix Fest, which was November 24th, 2nd. But Volkswagen, for some reason, decided to hold on to the Golf Rs in port. They sat there. We were hoping to have it before Eurotripper, which was like February 4th. Didn't happen. Literally the next week, cars were hitting dealerships, and we picked it up as soon as we could.
Yeah, so when I traded my car / sold my car to that guy, the car showed up for sale on Monday, and I ended up picking it up Saturday that next weekend. The difference was I lived in Melbourne, Florida on the East Coast, and he lived in Iowa. It's an 18-hour drive up there. So on Friday at 3 o'clock in the morning, me and my friend Omar road tripped straight up in my old Mk6 all the way up to Iowa to buy this car sight unseen to trade this guy. Stayed overnight at my uncle's house, went and got the car the next morning. Everything checked out, car looked good, it was a little rusty. Paint needed some love, but yeah, it went super smooth, car ran great. Stayed the night on Saturday, woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, drove straight home, and got home at about 11 o'clock Sunday night with a new car. Drove all the way across the country with no plate. It was a little sketchy.
Funny story about picking up the R32, it wasn't really by force, it was kind of by force. I had my GTI, I was driving one night with a friend to go get some food. Somebody rear-ended the car, totaled it, and they had a COD, so no rebuilt title, no holding on to your first car. So I ended up buying it and got it from somebody in South Florida, owned it for a little bit, so it's been a great car.
That car, when I was looking for them, I was kind of really wanting one that was unmodified. Happened to find this one, and I looked at all the mods that had kind of been done to it already, and it was all the stuff that I would have done that I wanted for the car. So the only problem was it was in rough shape. The guy had kind of been putting it back together from spinning a bearing and stuff, and so it was kind of in rough shape. And a cousin of mine, we flew up to DC. I took a look at the car, ended up buying it, drove it back, and every time we stopped for gas or something like that, it wouldn't start. We had to push start it. So the car definitely had a lot of issues, but we got it back, and I spent, I don't know, I drove it for about 6 months, just trying to figure out what all needed to be fixed on the car and what all I wanted to change. And then it spent the next 8 months on jack stands. Well, I just totally went through the car and changed what I wanted to change, fixed what needed to be fixed. And right now it's running great. So the only thing it needs right now is a paint job.
So my favorite thing about the Golf R is probably a combination of the interior design. I think Volkswagen did a really good job with the look and the feel of the interior. It's really great, and just the drive of the vehicle itself. It's solid. The different modes that it supports really give you a much more direct feel to the car. The drift mode's really fun. The race modes and all these different modes, it's just really kind of like whatever mood you're in, you can put the car in the mood and it matches what you want.
My favorite thing about the car would be, obviously there's a DSG. I love the DSG transmission and the launch control, because I think I've launched it maybe 3 or 4 times. I don't want to kill it, but I like racing every now and then.
My favorite thing about the Golf R, that is a good question, because they're both very similar. I would say that the hard driving versus going straight in the GTI over this, it's more of a driver's car.
Definitely the all-wheel drive, and just I haven't had any issues with it. So from my point of view, my personal aspect, the reliability of it, I've never had an issue. I stay up on maintenance and stuff like that. I take care of it, but drive it when I want, beat the hell out of it, and go home and park it. So.
My favorite thing about my car is honestly the exhaust note. It drives great and everything else, but I mean, honestly, windows down drive, especially on a back road, driving somewhere, nothing really kind of beats that feeling.
I don't know. I guess the supercharger, it's got an Mk8 supercharger kit on it, so it puts about 400 horsepower to the wheels. Really makes it fun to drive. They're fun to drive cars to begin with, from the factory, but it's the extra horsepower really makes it fun to drive. And then obviously it's a VR, so the sound it makes, everybody loves a VR. Yeah, especially a boosted one.
Yeah, so the car's been to quite a few shows, a lot of local ones, so Fix Fest, UroTripper, drove up to Alpine, went to Wookiees in the Woods, which is a great time, love Wookiees in the Woods. We'll be up there again this year. I love that show. You meet tons of people out there. That show, it's not really a structured show, it's just everyone happens to be in the same area at the same time, and they labeled it something, and it's great. There's no expectations, it's build your own adventure style, so you show up and you do whatever you want. And made a lot of friends through Wookiees in the Woods.
UroTripper was fun. I got to meet, all the guys from Rotiform. They were out there. They showed us all great love. You guys were all out there. We always get to see you guys too. Just the shows, really. I just like the people with it. It's a tight group of people, put it that way.
Yeah, I've taken the car to some shows. I took it to Wookiees in the Woods last year. It's been to Alpine Vag Fair. It's been to UroTripper. It broke down on the way back from Alpine Vag Fair last year. Well, it actually made it back, but the clutch broke and it didn't want to shift. So luckily I made it all the way back to my driveway without a tow truck. So, but yeah, it's been to a few shows, and hopefully I can go to Wookiees this year and Alpine Bike there too.
I've always taken the R32 to events. I used to drive it to like Clean Culture, Simply Clean. We took it to Wookiees in the Woods last year. We'll be up there again. I've took the car up to Alen before as well for Alpine Volks Fair when it first came out. You know, I've brought the car to a lot of shows, and I'm still planning on keeping it. I'm not going to get rid of it anytime soon, so I always like taking it out places.
You know, the new Mk8 R, you know, I didn't like it that much when I saw it in pictures. I saw it in person at Wookiees in the Woods this last year, and it really grew on me. I like it a lot. It looks a lot better in person than it does in photos. Seen a lot of like Humble Mechanic videos about it and UroTuning videos about it, and it looks like it's a really fun car to drive, and you know, the new all-wheel drive system they're using on it looks like it makes it a lot of fun. So maybe one day I'll be able to afford one.
I kind of like it. It's the first time I've seen it. It's just like I'd like to try that drift mode and different things like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Off camera, I don't like it.
That's all right. You don't have to like it.
I don't, I just can't.
Why don't you like it?
I feel like they stepped away from the quality control in the interior. It looks like a Corolla, and I really hate the one-dimensional emblems on the front and the rear. There's no texture to it. It just doesn't look alive anymore. It just looks plain.
Honestly, I really like the Mk8 R. I just feel there's a couple of cosmetic changes that are probably going to have to grow on people, but other than that, I've driven it. It drives great. Volkswagen did a great job. I think, you know, people don't like change all the time, but it's still heading in a good direction, and you know, they've obviously proven that with if you've ever driven one actually. So.
The Mk8 R, I think, is it's pretty solid. You know, for a while I didn't like the looks and stuff, but the longer it's around, the more we see it, the more I actually really do like it. I know it's a bit of a change from what it used to be with the 7.5, but I am quite a fan. I think they did a great job. You know, all jokes and puns aside, I'd give the car an 8 out of 10. There's some that is left to be desired, like the infotainment, for example, is a huge downfall to that car. But that thing tuned is going to be a monster. That thing it's going to be a ripper. And I'm excited for the potential for that platform. It's going to be great.
So we are holding this generation showcase at our new property. UroTuning will be moving the end of May, and this is our new space. Look for a lot of exciting get-togethers, events. We're going to definitely use the space as much as we can. We're excited for all aspects of the new building, so we will probably be seeing a lot of you out here in the near future.